አንተ ለሀገርህ ለአንድ እናትህ ትጋ።
እናመሰግናለን። Our next presenter is Ato Abdul from the sister city of Montgomery. We really want to thank Ato Abdul. They're one of the people that are hosting this event, and we're really proud to have them. So please make them feel very welcome.
This year, Montgomery County, Maryland, wanted to have a sister city relationship with an African city. Students here at Montgomery College, Ethiopian students, wanted Ethiopia to be a participant in that. Myself and other Ethiopians who are living in Montgomery County joined them, and that is what I'm going to present. There were about 9 African countries contenders in this process. Out of the 9 African countries, 3 of them were final. Cameroon, Ethiopia, and Sierra Leone. Cameroon had the city of Mengia, Ethiopia had the city of Gondar, and Sierra Leone had the city of Bo. I'm going to to take you to the process how we chose Gondar to be a choice of Ethiopian city. Ethiopia today has 11 administrative regions, of which 3 of them are cities: Addis Ababa, Harar, and Redwa. The rest are territories. What we did was, this is the administrative. For those of you who are young and do not know, we have 11 administrative regions, 80 zones, 672 waradas, which are the lowest administrative region, and about 970 cities. In Ethiopia, according to the Bureau of Statistics, Ethiopian Bureau of Statistics, a city is defined as a place where 2,000 or more people live, and 80% of them have to be engaged in non-agricultural activities. However, in Ethiopia, a city, or in Amharic term, Katama or Mandar, most of them cities are where the local administrative resides, or the offices is. By any definition, a lot of them do not, come close to become what we call a city in the United States or any other part of the world. So what we did was, next slide, please. We took the most recent census data the Ethiopian government undertook, which was 2007. I was fortunate enough to have been one of the people involved in the first census, which was taken in 1984. So Ethiopia is very recent in taking, vital statistics of its territories. So what we did was, okay, 970 cities, all of them are contenders, but we have to make some choice. So out of that, we said, okay, arbitrarily we took the first 30 cities based on population. We wanted to have every region in the country to have an equal choice. So, for example, if I take Gambella, it's a state by itself. It has a capital city. However, it doesn't satisfy the population requirement. Anyway, we took 30 cities, and Addis Ababa is the capital city. Next slide. When we compare Addis Ababa, it becomes unfair for the other cities to be competitive with Addis. Addis Ababa as a capital city has about 2 to 3 million, depending on who you talk to, population. It has 10 times higher population than the next city, which is Redwa. So we decided that it would be unfair, so we took Addis Ababa out, so that the other cities might have an equal chance of competing. And we said, okay, at least the city that we are going to choose has to be at least a state city or a zone or a Warada capital or something. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. We took the first 25 cities. This is their distribution geographically within Ethiopia. And we had almost every region except Gambella, which I have mentioned, and Benishangul, the capital city of Benishangul, and Gambella would not satisfy at least the population requirement. Out of the 25 cities, we announced through the media and through word of mouth, through Montgomery County student, for any city to come and represent itself. So to give every, people came from Ambo, people came from Jilla, so everybody had an equal chance. However, there are some requirements that Montgomery County also said the city that you are going to choose must fulfill this requirement. So we went through that. We had a panel of judges among ourselves. And next slide. Finally, out of the 25 cities, we came up to 7. The 7 cities, as you see, Gondar, Debre Tabor, Bahir Dar, Jimma, Adama, Awasa, and Redao. Some of the big cities like Jijiga, we had to take it out because of security issues. Some of the cities like Dase, Kombolcha, Nakamte, Arba Minch, there were a lot of cities. On the other hand, some of the cities didn't have any representation. So we took these 7 cities and we debated among ourselves. We had a panel, every city had a representation, and the judges, based on the requirement that we had, went through this process. Montgomery County says the city has to have a school, at least a higher learning center, an airport, a hospital, and all these kinds of requirements. We went through that, the judges looked at that, and came up with a selected city to represent Ethiopia. And the selected city was Gondar. So there was a consensus that Gondar should be representing Ethiopia in this contest, so we chose Gondar. Now, the next part is, okay, we won, so what? What's the next part? One of the things I want you to understand is the sister city relationship is just symbolic. Montgomery County or the US government is not going to give any penny, especially at this time, where everybody has a budget problem. However, we're not going to be discouraged with that. We can go through this process and do the things that we would like to see in Ethiopia. Ethiopian, some demographic, but today Ethiopia has 81 million people. When I first was doing the census in 1984, Ethiopian population was less than half of them. Ethiopia today has one of the highest population growth in the world. It is projected to go to 170 million. In the last 25 years, Ethiopian population has doubled. I'm a demographer, and my own estimate, that 170 million will be reached sooner than 2050. Urban population, Ethiopian urban population today is 12.7. 25 years ago, there were only 3 million. So it has 4 times population 25 years ago that we have today. This is 16%. In the United States, the rural population is 16%. So Ethiopia, compared to a lot of countries in the world, still is a rural country. The majority of the population lives in the rural area. 925 settlements classified as urban, 89% of them, or 820 of them, have population less than 20,000. So a majority of the cities are just mandars, villages. Next. Just to tell you some basic characteristics of Ethiopia, they are poorly developed economic bases. For example, here, some cities are industrial, transportation, some manufacturing, high-tech engineering company centers. Most of the Ethiopian cities do not have any economic base. Most of you would know that. High level of unemployment, 17%. If that 17% unemployment is here, it's very risky to have a 17% of unemployment sitting concentrated in one area. 29% of Addis Ababa city dwellers are unemployed. 70% of Ethiopian residents are slum. You all know that. I mean, it's not, just because we have concentration of people living in one place they are slum by definition of urban centers. There is a high rate of incidence of poverty. Some of the presenters that mentioned the street kids, all these kind of things is a reflection of that. Next slide, please. So, what is urban governance in Ethiopia? In the past, nothing. Mayors during Haile Selassie time or Derg time were appointed. Actually, in terms of being an appointment, they do not have any relationship. The governors or the city mayors do not have any relationship with the local population. They are appointed, they just administer. At present, we see some change. That is the national decentralization process the government started now. At least in paper, in proclamation, this government has said that they are going to recognize the self-governance of some cities. Based on this proclamation, there are 84 cities identified to have their own administrative regions or administrative mayor or elected offices. So, next slide. Montgomery County, sister city, like I said, we won, okay, what's the next step? So we want to, we do not only want to have this relationship with Gondar city so that we will have Ethiopian cultural shows and things like that. No, we have to think beyond that. So we want to organize Ethiopian professionals here in the United States and Ethiopia. There are a lot of people who are Ethiopians that I know. I work in a local government as a planner here in Washington, D.C. There are a lot of Ethiopians that I have met through conference, through work and things like that, who are working in this kind. We want to organize them. I know some Ethiopians back home who are also working in municipality government and things like that. We want to organize that if we are successful. We want to do research based on best practices on urban planning, on urban governance. There are planning in Ethiopia, but nobody knows them. I talked to some Ethiopian when I went back and asked them, do you have this plan? Do you have this plan? They would say yes, 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 but you don't see it. There is something missing in there. Next. So our goal is to participate in Ethiopian urban development. We are not trying to invent new things. We are trying to work with whatever the government of Ethiopia has in place there. So we do not have to be contradictory. We want to initiate bottoms up rather than tops down approach. I used to be a planner in Ethiopia. Like most of us, I said, okay, I'm a university graduate and I know everything, So I just project my ideas downward. There is no input. Everything that you see here in the United States, recycling program, green area development, a lot of things did not came from planners. They came from citizens, concerned citizens. It's just amazing. Some of you, I encourage you when you hear about wherever you live, go to city council meetings and you will be amazed by how much people are very involved. In the United States, the most effective participatory government are local government, not state, not federal. For example, the downtown Silver Spring revitalization program. A lot of things that you see here did not came out of engineers or planners. It came out of citizen participation. Next. The other thing is we want to introduce or promote, to ask residents what they want. I had this experience about 6 years ago when I went to Ethiopia. All of you, when you go, you sit down with old neighborhood, talk to them, ask them. I did ask them, what do you want? You will be amazed by what they tell you what they want. It's not, okay, when you go to Addis today, you will see buildings coming here and there, that doesn't mean development. A lot of it, you will see it. It's going to create chaos. Today, Addis Ababa is just a traffic, not because there are too many cars, There is no system. You have 1 million cars in the United States. I do transportation here. An average of 20,000 cars pass on Georgia Avenue. You do not see any kind of chaos. You go to Addis, you will see a nightmare. Ask how programs are organized and delivered. To ask them, so bottoms up approach. We want to introduce. If it is there, fine. If it is not, we introduce it. To nurture participatory in local government. Like I said, we want to engage people. We want to convince administrators, mayors, to talk to people, not only just impose their ideas. To initiate public meeting. There is no public meeting in Ethiopia. We want to initiate that, if it is possible, as long as it's not contradictory with the local government. We want to promote youth involvement, like you guys, we want here in the United States and in Ethiopia to promote or initiate local universities. When I left Ethiopia, there was 1 university. Today there are 21. Most in the United States, colleges, universities are engaged with local issues, local studies and things like that. We want to promote, for example, Bahar Dar University, Gondar University, or Jijiga, whatever it is. We will ask them to do some research on local issues. And then, service delivery and success and failure. We have to measure those things. Funding is another question. We want to, this is an idea, we want to get funding for postgraduate students in Ethiopia, to identify best practices, to do a research on city planning, governance, tax or revenue generating things, environmental issues. When you compare Ethiopian, all right, sorry, okay, next. So we will monitor the success or failure, progress report, initiate that, publications of journals from university students or any other professional, public hearings. And we do believe that local solutions will be solved by, local problems will be solved by local solutions. I, going from the United States over there, do not have to impose my ideas or anything. Somebody in Ethiopia who's living there, if you ask them, if you give them the opportunity, they will come up with beautiful solutions. So this is our goal. We do not have a website yet, but it's going to be soon through Montgomery County. And hopefully some of you will, if you have any ideas, please post them on that. If you want us to promote anything through this association, we would like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ato Abdul. Just looking at history is quite interesting. When you think about the Roman Empire, like the legions were famous, but also their aqueducts. In the 19th century Europe, same thing. You would see the problems that they have solved, like disease and all these major catastrophes, they were not just solved by adding more doctors, but rather by city planning and careful sanitation techniques. So I think, the same applies to the cities that are growing at such a high rate, particularly in the areas of sanitation. Things that just come in association with high rates of growth or concentration of people in urban areas. Our next presenter, Ato Tafese Ubishet, founder and president of Fragment Foundation. Tafese was born and raised in Ethiopia. He used to work as a state-owned wholesale corporation in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for about 16 years in different capacities. In his career, in his private life, he was also a freelance radio program producer and television newscaster. Here in the US, Tafese has worked at Precious Metals Brokerage Company, the Hilton Hotels, California State University, Dominguez Hills, and the Housing Authority for the City of Los Angeles for a total of 14 years. So Tafese retired from Housing Authority and currently works full-time at the Fragment Foundation. Tafese has a master's degree, MBA in International Business. So please welcome to Tafese, founder and president of Fragment Foundation.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and I thank the Student Association for giving me this opportunity to talk about the Pregnant Foundation. I would like to thank also the organizations that spoke before me for their wonderful work. I have learned a lot from these organizations. It has benefited me, and we probably need to create some partnership with the noble works that we all do for Ethiopia. Okay, Pregnant Foundation was established in memory of Pregnant Tafesa, which was my only child, and we lost her in a tragic car accident right after she graduated in 2003. So instead of just being angry and then sitting down in bereavement and sadness, families and friends wanted to honor her, and in her memory we established the Pregnant Foundation. And Pregnant, her greatest dream was to someday help the children of her native country of Ethiopia. The mission is to prepare and equip the future leaders of the community, provide high-quality early education as a means to overcome poverty, reduce AIDS and gender inequality, make education central to the community, and remove obstacles to education such as, health factor, poverty, hungry, confidence, lack of information, and despair. And our other mission is to establish bonds between our students in Ethiopia and children all over the world by sponsoring music, travel, language, and cultural education. And of course, the other is to monitor our school, which is Pregnant Hidal Hezanat in Addis. And our objective is to ensure that children from poor families are provided an opportunity to succeed in life. So, why are we doing this? I mean, what is the rationale for us to do this? The first thing is, there is no public kindergarten in Ethiopia. The public policy, Ministry of Education starts from grade 1. There is no kindergarten. So we want to start from kindergarten, 2 years education, age 4 to 6 years old. And there is also a strong connection between the development of a child undergoes early in life and the level of success that the child will experience in later life. We have education program, 2 years in kindergarten and 4 from grade 1 to 4. So the children will stay with us for a total of 6 years. They will have free supplies, school supplies, uniforms. We provide them with breakfast and hot lunch. Different foods every day, nutritious. And when we do this, we cannot take away the kids only. When we develop the community, we have to involve them. And how we do that is we provide library services for the community, for the high school dropouts, or for anyone, for the kids' parents as well. And we have a computer lab. and we plan to build a clinic as well. But we have those 4 programs, but for the clinic part, we only pay for their prescription drugs, but we haven't built the clinic yet. So, my daughter passed in 2003, and we established this foundation in 2004. We started with 1 class of 31 children in 2004 in September. And now we have 214 children. Our first batch of students are now in 6th grade, well, they will be in 6th grade next fall. In our campus, we only teach up to grade 4, and we have the license to teach only up to grade 4. The next level, we have to take them to another school, but they are still under our satellite, under our supervision. We still provide them with uniforms, and the proximity of the schools that they are in now even is very close, so they come for lunch as well. We still provide them with school supplies, and we have also a program for them to come and after school program to study or tutor their kids, smaller kids. So in 2011, this coming school season, the total student population is going to be 215. So every year we take 30, on the average, 30 children between age 4 to 6, and they start at kindergarten 1, then 2 years in kindergarten and 4 years from grade 1 to 4. Our immediate goal is, since our school is in a rental facility, which was not meant for school, it was a residential unit before, but still rental, so we don't have any permanency in the community. What we want to do is to buy the current facility and stay there for, give continued services to the community where we took the students. And this amounts to $300,000 to purchase this school facility. And then we do have a long-term goal, which you can see. This is a state-of-the-art school. Again, this includes only 6 classrooms, a cafeteria. We need to feed our children because we recruit them from poor families. We cannot teach them with an empty belly. So the cafeteria is one program, main program, along with the education. And then a computer lab and a library, a clinic as well. So this is our long-term goal. Once we complete this, we would like to replicate the same model to the downtrodden areas of Ethiopia as resources allow. So, how do you run this program? We do some fundraising events, on the average once a year. We have a student sponsorship program. What it is our per child cost is $25 a month or $300 a year. So we have quite a few sponsors who support us. We have also marathon sponsorship. We do run marathons in Los Angeles since our headquarters is over there, and our board and most of our supporters run once a year, and they get sponsorship. We get general donations, and also we get some funding for small projects like library. For example, we got a library project funding for the furnishing part from Embassy of Netherlands 3 years ago. And then last year we got also for small administrative expenses from, I don't know if you are familiar with global child, oh, I forgot the name. The headquarters is here in DC, Global Fund for Children, I'm sorry. So they fund us also last year for $6,000. The Royal Netherlands Embassy 3 years ago, like I said, they gave us $10,000 to furnish our library. So we have some donations here and there, but we haven't yet got big funding. The other main source of income for us, that's not liquid cash, but it's in-kind donation. We get a lot of professional services, engineers, lawyers, who are running day-to-day activities of the foundation. They are all volunteers and professionals, including myself. So we do for free to help out those kids in need. So how can you help? What we do is just get to know us, check out our track record, review our financial records. It's open, we are very transparent, audited every year. Read testimonials, eyewitness reports and blogs, sign up for our newsletters, friend us with Facebook, share your ideas and hopes for the children of Ethiopia with us, and visit our school when you go to Ethiopia, when you go to Addis. And then you can also participate, by spreading the word, tell your friends via social media, create connections with organizations, companies, with donations and matching fund programs, hold fundraisings or fundraisings events for us, volunteer and give us professional services, run, ride, or walk, get sponsors to support us, or sponsor a student or a class on your own or with your class. And lastly, I will leave you with a wise word from Nelson Mandela, who says, education is a great engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, and the child of a farm worker can become the president of a great nation. Together, we can make a difference. I thank you for
Thank you very much, Professor Bushit. It's quite interesting because